Hey everyone, Kyle here from Poseidon's Pets. So I've got a short video for you guys today. What I wanted to do was I wanted to show you how I feed my Oscar Indy brine shrimp. So a lot of times what you see is people want you to take the frozen brine shrimp, frozen bloodworms, the food that comes in that package, take a little bit of tank water and defrost that cube into the tank water and then feed that to the tank. Now, with a big fish like an Oscar, they're not going to be able to catch those little tiny pieces. So it's just going to get all over your tank, make a mess. It's not going to be good for your filter, for your fish. It's going to be a mess everywhere. So I've kind of got like a pro tip that I figured out that works well for me, works well for Indy. He enjoys it that way a lot better. He told me I know these things. I do want to say you'll notice that my tank looks a little dirty. So if you know me and you know Indy, this tank is totally utilitarian, I guess. So it's more of a utility tank, it's his home, and I want to provide the best place I can for him. So I started growing algae on the glass and on the sides. So that way the algae will actually help to filter out the water, provide oxygen for him. Similar to like my pothos I have down here in the sump. So the algae is a type of plant and organism that's going to help to filter that water. So I know it doesn't look nice, it doesn't look pretty, but I don't mind it in there. And it's not my show tank. This isn't a tank that I'm trying to win competitions on. I just want him to be happy and healthy and live in his environment by himself. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that and my step-by-step process. So I'll be right back with you. So this is probably something you guys are familiar with seeing, and that's just thawed out brine shrimp. So I'm going to go ahead and feed this to Indy's tank. So that way you can see what I'm talking about as far as the mess it makes and how much of a struggle it is just for him to eat that. So I am going to do a water change either today or tomorrow, so I don't mind doing that for one day. But I just want to show you the mess it does make when you feed it this way. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to do is turn off my filter so that way it's not sucking up any of the food I'm feeding. You can see he's already excited. So I'm just going to dump this defrosted brine shrimp in there and see what he does. So you can see that the particles are just too small for him to really do anything. He's gonna suck some of them up, but it's just gonna make a mess. So you can just see how much particles are in there. And I'm gonna turn the filter back on real quick, just to stir that up a bit. All right, so this is my pro tip on how to feed your Oscar brine shrimp. Super simple. Basically, you cut it into squares. So you're making this easier for them to bite it in one bite. And that way it's small enough that it's gonna melt and they're not just eating a hunk of frozen meat. So I'll chop that into a few pieces and feed that to him, and then you guys can see how easy this is for him to eat versus the other mess that I just made. All right, so Indy's cleaned up some of it and the filter's done the rest. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how much of a difference it makes when you just cut it into cubes. It's like, food? Food? You got food for me, Dad? And you'll notice this way, there's not a lot of food that comes out of his gills. Because with Oscars and large predatory fish, when they chew, it'll get expelled from their gills, and that causes wastewater. So if you're feeding it still frozen like this, usually what will happen is he'll chew it up and you won't get all of that waste coming out. And it's a lot easier for him to grab. Now, if you do see an excessive amount coming out of the gills when you're feeding, a lot of times that can mean that they're not hungry anymore either. So if you're feeding small amounts and there's a lot coming out of the gills, they're basically just chewing it up to chew it up because it's in the tank. They're not chewing it up because they're hungry. And I did feed him raw shrimp yesterday, so I don't know how hungry he really is. But even if you put food in there, he'll eat it. And I try to wait until he stops chewing because you could kind of see when he's done with each bit. See, now he's done. He's ready for more. Yeah, he's just spitting it out now. Alright guys, side note before I close this video up, I just looked in the community tank and one of my mollies has had a crap ton of babies. So there's at least 30 babies in here. Pretty sure it was that orange one because she looked like she was going to pop any day now. And she's super skinny now. Alright guys, I told you it wasn't going to be a very long video this week, so definitely thank you so much for watching. That was my pro tip for how to feed your Oscar frozen brine shrimp. It's just so much easier when you cut it up into pieces versus thawing it out. So thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor, if you like me, you like my videos, you like what I do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so when I create content, you guys can see that as it comes out every week. So thanks again for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.